Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Scoob-Cast. Today is our first guest episode, although there's going to be no webcam today because I can't find it, but it's alright. I could use my laptop webcam, but it's kind of shit and I don't feel like using it. But, anyways, to the main focus of the episode is our guest today. So, it's my good friend Bear. So, hello, Bear. Introduce yourself to people.
Hello everybody. I'm Bear, or you can refer to me as Remy the Rat from Ratatouille.
Although,
But
that name sucks. I really hope you never say that again.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know,
cry
man.
now.
It's just kind of a weird name, you know?
Listen. I had my laptop with me, and I was also watching Ratatouille. You put
All
two and
right.
two together, and
Yeah.
there's my Roblox username. There you go.
Roblox username is so it was originally just your Roblox username. It wasn't, you know.
So I'll explain how it started. Okay, it was Remy Kid 77, and the reason because of that is because I had my laptop with me, like a 2014 Toshiba laptop that was a hand me down. So yeah, and I was watching Ratatouille. So I didn't think,
Good movie.
me not being yeah exactly, me not being the creative how do I say person. I just
Retard.
okay. I just chose it. I just the main character is Remy. That's his name. So I just like let me just nab that, and then there you go. Bada bing, bada boom.
That's pretty interesting. You know,
Yep.
my first, so with my old channel, it's called Bandman. It's probably the most weirdest name ever. I just came up with it randomly. I kind of had, so back in that day of Roblox when I first joined around 2015, that wasn't when I first joined, but just when I first made that account. And I just decided to call it Ban Man because I had this kind of weird obsession, I guess, back then with ban hammers and banning people and just, doing a 1984 as a
Ironic
9-year-old. But
ironic enough that you owned your Discord server.
yeah, I know. I'm surprised I haven't banned anyone. Oh, actually, wait.
Well,
Well,
well.
we're laughing about it, but I mean, it's kind of sad how we banned them, but
Yeah.
whatever. Let's not talk about it for now. I'm saying for now, but we might ad lib about it. But, anyways, I guess since we've already had an introduction, I guess, you know what? We're going to talk about some of the most recent news. So I think the most prominent one being that Apple is going to scan people's phones to check for child abuse or child pornography, basically. So what do you think about that, Bear? I have my own thoughts, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. If they're scanning phones, it would be nice to know that. I mean, nice to know that you're alerting somebody because there may be some private contents. Not talking about
Yeah.
CP because there's obviously if someone has child porn on the phone, that makes sense. You would want to deal with them. But the
Although I'm
issue is
surprised they
some
didn't get
people.
caught by the feds.
Yeah. It'd be weird if some company is going through your personal stuff because if you have stuff that you want to keep hidden, you want to keep it hidden. You don't want to let the world. I mean, for instance, if I have two people in my basement, I don't want Apple to know I have them there. Come on.
What
Obviously,
do
I'm
you have?
joking.
Do you have two people
No,
in your basement?
no, I'm joking. But
Yeah.
to all seriousness, though, like it's a violation of privacy, and it's kind of ironic that they made a policy saying, "Hey, if you want to download an app, the app has to ask you if you want, to invade your privacy." When they're breaking that own terms of policy as well. And if you don't know what I mean, because I know I'm not making much sense right now,
No,
Apple,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. But if people don't understand, I just want to say like Apple now made it so like let's say Facebook asks you if they want to, ask for permission to like make ads based around what your personal preferences are. They would have to ask you for permission, which kind of goes against what they made because if you're going through someone's personal stuff, it's just like why would you make that policy in the first place?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Facebook is going to jump the gun on them and then snap back with what I just said because
I mean, Facebook already does their own thing without permission, so I don't know what's the point of that. It's for Apple to force people to ask permission, but anyways, when I think about it, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat as you. I kind of care, but at the same time, I don't care. It's sort of like, yeah, there are definitely benefits, but also, I guess in a lot of ways there are many problems with it. Obviously, a violation of privacy, and I think for the benefits, obviously, yeah, there may be some people who actually genuinely have bad photos that are malicious, but I'd imagine that most people who have iPhones, they don't do that. And if they were to have, I don't know, let's say they were to have a naked baby in their photos. I mean, most of them I'd assume would be parents because they want to share the fact that they, you know,
But
brought a
obviously,
kid into
if
the
it's a
world, a demon spawn into the world.
yeah,
But
but obviously, if it's a 50-year-old named Jared who lives in his mom's basement, that's enough evidence to
and he's
show.
a spokesman for Subs YN.
It's just
uh,
weird that yeah. So
yeah.
other, I mean,
Yeah. Thing
I was,
is,
yeah.
there's actually a
I'm sorry.
conspiracy. No, it's fine. There's a conspiracy theory going around that Apple's doing this because they want to collect child porn for themselves, which I think that's kind of funny. But you know, given that people like Jeffrey Epstein exist, it
Oh
it's
my
kind of
god.
sad. I'm not trying to go into a conspiracy theory ad lib here, but it's like, you know, it just I guess it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, there it just seems so ridiculous and just you know just out of this world. So, what do you think of that theory, Bear? What do you think of that
Okay,
conspiracy theory?
let me just say this, alright? If a major company would have wanted to do that already, they would have done it already, alright?
Yeah,
There's,
yeah, they probably have. It's just that we haven't
there
known.
is, and the thing is like, if you're making a conspiracy, like, okay, most of the conspiracy theories lately have just been pretty insane. Like, for instance, when people are like, oh, there's a 5G Bill Gates chip in my vaccine, that's one of them, because
Mm-hmm.
that's insane.
I talked about that
It,
on the previous episode, actually.
it's just, yeah, I don't understand why people, like, okay, if you're gonna make a conspiracy theory, sorry, a conspiracy theory, at least make it make sense. Don't just fucking, you're just picking words and then making a sentence out of it. It's like anyone can do that. It's like car, gun, question mark. Like, it just, theories like this. Like, you had proper theories back in the day that was like, is there gravity in
Was it really
space?
proper
And
though? People believe that cigarettes that were actually healthy for you, and people believe that gay people were like spawns of Satan. So I mean, are
okay,
we
yeah,
really
but
that
those,
better
it
off?
was at their time. It was in their time. So
Yeah,
in their
and we're in
time, it
our
was
own. Yeah,
sensible.
we're in our own
N-
time. We're
exactly.
probably devolving back to monkey. Which maybe people
Yeah.
want. I don't know. Maybe they just want to become monkey again.
Well, that's Reddit. That the entirety of Reddit wants to do that. So
Yeah, well, they're not going to survive one day in the wilderness, though. They don't know how to survive anywhere but on the internet. Actually, maybe they don't even know how to survive on the internet. It seems like they just, the moment anyone, just happens to break their fragile imaginations of, like, making a Reddit island or, saying that Fortnite's actually good, then they just go ape shit. But
or
not,
just saying that you're or just saying that your own comic will fuse into the world. Which if you know who I'm talking about, then you know who I'm talking about. But
Wholesome 100 Keanu Chungus. That's the ultimate phrase of Redditors right there. Yeah, but for Apple though, I mean, yeah, there's just there's a lot of theories about just these big companies colluding together to just gather child porn, which, I mean, yeah, they would have probably done so already, and maybe they already have, but I don't know. Like, what's the point, man? Like, even if they wanted to collect child porn, I really don't get the point.
yeah, listen, if Apple wanted your data, they would have
Maybe
already
they're
had
just
it by
greed
now. And
split. I don't know, man.
if they just getting your data, then that's cool. But like, because I mean, what are you expecting? You're buying a phone from a major company that makes laptops, TVs, and stuff. Like, come on, that's just
Yeah.
if you think they have your data now, they would have had it earlier. Like they probably have been had your data since 2012 when iPhone 4 came out, whatever it
I think
was.
it's just really hard nowadays to be completely anonymous because, I mean, if someone were to do any bit of research on the internet, like if they were to genuinely try and dox you or whatever, if they go hard enough or maybe research hard enough or maybe even not that much, they could find something about you and pretty much just, find out everything about you. And it's kind of ridiculous. Hopefully, the laptop charger here doesn't catch on fire by the end of this podcast because it's already pretty hot. That's not good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like, call the fire department to come to my house and save me.
Let me make a podcast. So like, yep, we know the deal. Just gets a fire extinguisher on the laptop.
Do fire? I mean, I don't think podcasts single-handedly cause most fires in this world.
No,
I had
definitely
no
not.
choice but to charge my laptop. No. What does cause fires though are gender reveal parties. And to anyone who does those with like fucking fireworks and like, you know, all these like explosives and stuff, like, okay, look, I know it's a child and all, and like you're all happy and stuff that you're gonna soon, give birth to a demon spawn. But is it really worth all the money to waste on explosives and cause massive fires and potentially in the future probably get fined and arrested for major
like,
damages to the world and the environment? I don't know, man.
like the largest you can do is just have a cake and then have a guy pop out of the cake wearing blue saying, "Hey, it's a boy," but we don't need
It's
to
a
shoot
guy
fireworks
pop
in
out of
this.
a cake. How would that happen? You mean like
Uh,
a
just
midget?
like under the table, just like there's a
Oh,
table, and then the cake's on the table,
well,
and he
hey,
just sticks
I'll
his
deal
heads
with
out.
balloons. The worst that can happen there is that you lose some helium and you waste it, which I guess maybe that's also just as bad, but because we kind of need
Nah,
helium nowadays. But
but yeah, we'll be fine. We don't need helium. We'll be fine.
why not just like, you know, splash, like, why not just splash slime on yourself like you're a Nickelodeon award host? You know,
Just
like,
pink slime or blue slime, and then if it's
yeah,
blue, oh, if it's blue, then it's a girl. I mean, fuck a boy.
yeah. Although pink and blue slime, whatever you can get that. You remember the
But
slime craze back in like 2017,
like,
twenty
oh
eighteen?
yeah, Jesus. Yeah,
Jesus Christ. I
my
remember
school
like
actually, my
4th and
school
5th
they
grade.
said,
What?
yeah, my school they said like if you had slime, you would get detention because you would
Really?
it would get, yeah, because there was a lot of people who just have slime, bring it to the school, and then just stick it under the tables like gum,
Oh my god. No,
and it was
people,
just stuck there.
luckily people at my school didn't do that, but they brought slime to this school when they could. So, I mean, it was just kind of annoying seeing them just, bring their goddamn containers of slime. Just it's literally just a mix of Elmer's glue and what the hell did they use to make
This
it?
I
I don't
had
even
the
remember anymore.
I don't know, but I had
But
this one friend who claimed, which I know he didn't. He was just doing that so he can, bring the slime to the school. He claimed that he had ADHD, and so
mm,
his way of dealing with it was, like how if you stick your thumb inside of like a little tube of slime, it makes a little
yeah.
fart noise. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his way of dealing with it, and it was so fucking annoying because I would have to sit next to
Uh
him.
that sucks. Yeah, I didn't really have to deal with that though. I mean, there were lots of girls in our school who were just, just stereotypical white girls, I'd say, but we never really had that many problems, I'd say. It's really just the white girls that were the problem. Although it's
Yeah,
kind of ironic considering that I'm a white man or white
well,
male.
yeah, but I mean, you're sensible. You're not idiot. You're not an idiot.
Maybe
You
no,
actually do
I
smart
probably
stuff.
am an idiot, but I just think I am smart. That's kind of the problem nowadays. People think that they're smart, but in reality that they're idiots. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just because of the radical extremist beliefs and all that, but I don't really have those kind of beliefs. I like to be sensible and, just be
uh,
rational.
centrist, just a centrist,
Well, yeah,
rational
but
centrist.
there's like two types of centrists. So according to like political compass, but there's radical centrist and a gray centrist. So a radical one is like one that kind of shares beliefs from every single other quadrant, but a gray centrist is kind of like, you know, your neighbor who just
Everything
who
goes.
all he wants to do is just grill. He doesn't want to do anything else but just grill. He doesn't care about politics. He just wants to grill.
I mean, I mean, I don't care about it. I mean, I know about it because nowadays you have to kind of be sensible about it because things are changing. But really, I don't go on Twitter and go fucking arguing with Trump or Obama. I know I can, but what I'm trying to say here is I don't go on Twitter and start yelling at someone saying, "Hey, you can't be conservative." There's many issues with that. Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, you know what?
I,
Speaking of Twitter, so
oh no, oh no.
I think you already know what I'm about to say, Bear, because we talked about this a little bit before recording this. But currently, right now, as of recording, hashtag Vorday is trending on Twitter. Now, there are plenty of problems with Vor. Quite frankly, one of them being that if you're into it, I'll see you in the mental institution later. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like the problem is with the internet now. I don't know. Originally, and I guess like maybe in the early days of the internet, so like maybe 2005 to around 2010. Who just pinged me? I swear to God, someone just pinged me.
It was Rice Meister.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of,
What is he? Oh, well, what do you mean? Speaking of it, he's not into vor though.
well, no, yeah, but
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind.
All right. Well, pretty much. I have to scroll back because the recording. All right. Anyways, yeah. So pretty much, we have experience with vor, and I don't mean that as in we were vored, but I just mean like we were friends with someone who for the longest time we did not know for a while that he was actually into vor. Now, I don't mean I don't want to talk about too much because it's probably kind of disrespectful to talk shit about him for the fact that he's into lore. I'm not gonna say his name, but no, he was a good friend of ours, good friend of mine especially. I mean, actually, most of the people in the server that we're currently talking in, so my friend group here, especially Bear, they're still friends with him, but I don't really talk with him because I have my personal beliefs and all that and values, and
Which I
there
want
are
to
things
say,
going on. There are things that went on that I will not personally talk about, but all you can really assume is that I do not have good connections with him anymore. So, I guess I'm not. Yeah, Bear. I guess I can talk
yeah,
about it a little bit, but no, Vor wasn't really a big part of it. I mean, maybe it was, but it wasn't
it's
like
just
the.
that,
It was just kind of a thing that kind of showed me that a darker side to him. Just gonna refer to it as him. It's just you know.
yeah. But okay, I'm personally cool with him. He's a cool guy. It's it's just that you can't. I'm just gonna make an example. But what I will say is you can't just say someone has a pissy fetish. Yeah, it doesn't harm you, so why are you crying about it? It's not the fact that it harms me. It's the fact that it harms a friendship with
Yeah,
that person. Let's
that's
say,
yeah,
for instance,
that's
you
what that
can't
this person said.
like I know nowadays we're like allowing things to be more normal, which is fine. I understand. That's cool.
Well,
But
certain things
it's
want
like
to be normal, some things don't deserve to be.
exactly. But the thing is you can't just go up to your friend who is, your average guy and just say, "Yeah, I like four." Because they're going to react in a weird way. They're going to say, "Wait, you like people eating each other?" You see the issue with that? It's just pretty weird. And especially with a subject like that, like and I met some people that said, "Well, it's the way of, it's people's way of coping with society." Okay, that's not the best way you should be doing that.
Well, if they're
Uh,
coping with society, it kind of gives us a sign that you really should just, check into a mental institution or get therapy because clearly, if you're having problems with society all because of your goddamn fetish, then I think that's kind of a calling point to show that you have mental problems. So,
do you want to say this? Like, if people watch this, like if you have an opinion about it, that's cool. This is our opinion, so please respect it, and we'll respect yours. Because being sensible, let's be sensible about things. It's not sensible to attack a guy for his opinion. I mean, obviously, if it's an extremist ideal saying we should nuke China, yeah, that we need to talk about. But something like this, yeah, don't come at people for that. Like, if they have an opinion, let them have an opinion. Like, if they want to be conservative, conservative, whatever. It's like if it's someone's opinion, leave it at that because you're not gonna change it. And if you do change it, that's just kind of rude because they had that opinion for a reason. So I mean,
although,
but
yeah, there are
you
certainly some good opinions and bad opinions, but I think when it comes to fetishes, the problem is that I think a lot of people who generally have them probably just did not have that good of lives or don't have that good of health in terms of, mentally at least. But
or they might
there's
have had a
just
good life. You
there's a
don't
lot
know.
of
It's just
maybe they do have a good life, but they're still mentally ill. That's just kind of how I view it, sort of.
if you
Some
view
of
it that way, that's cool.
yeah, some of them are worse than others.
I personally don't think they're mentally ill. If that's how they are, that's how they are. I'm not gonna force you to change. Although I would like to say that it's just like don't come to me and say you like to piss on people. Like come, that's just shit. That's just like that's pretty
Right.
weird.
Well, I mean, if you don't like to piss on people, don't do it to me, okay? I'm just trying to move about my day. I'm trying to get to work, man.
Yeah, like
Yeah. But I don't know. There's definitely just some things that are actually wrong, and there's no way you can argue for them. So, especially like pedophilia and all that. Yeah, the
yeah.
problem is,
Speaking about that,
yeah, I don't
like
know. Some there seems to be a limit for people with fetishes though. Some of them have a limit, some of them don't. They don't. Yeah, and pedophilia for those who do have a limit seems to be one of those limits.
I want to add on to that by just saying that I met a guy who was like, I do like children. I'm not gonna say his name because Ironically enough, he was a Discord mod, so that just follows the stereotype.
Hopefully, it was. I mean, it was probably. Do you think it was ironic though, or was it genuine?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't go much into him because he was weird the second I joined that VC. But I wanted to just say this that he was like, although I can't look at certain stuff, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If although I'm not allowed
Jeez.
to look at that stuff, I just resort to lolly. Now I'm gonna move on to say that people who do
Jesus,
that,
man.
you seriously need
Oh
help.
my
Like, come
God,
on,
bro. I'm
that's
surprised
just
he isn't. I'm surprised. Uh, don't mind that.
it,
I don't know if you.
it's just
I
the
don't even know if
fact.
you could hear that from the mic, but
No, I didn't hear anything. It's the fact that if you are finding a way to dodge certain things that are set in place for certain reasons, that's just weird. Like,
yeah.
come on, like if you obviously are looking at lolly because you can't do it in real life, you genuinely need help for the obvious reason that you're looking
I
at
hope
children and you
that
get.
I genuinely hope that person does not act on their desires, because if they do, Jesus Christ, I feel bad for that. I'm gonna feel bad for that child that happens to run into them.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
but like going
Yeah,
back to
I
these
guess it's
things,
yeah. It's probably stop talking about this. This is depressing.
because yeah, it's really it's we went from just weirded out to why are we doing this? Why are we here? Are we just here to suffer? You know, like
This is why people don't deserve rights. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was gonna go on to my sister was like, we need a little sprinkle of communism, a little
Yeah, a little,
sprinkle.
just a little sprinkle.
Oops,
But
dropped the whole
I don't
bottle.
know. I feel like, I mean, problem is, I kind of want these people to, just the people who have really weird fetishes. I feel like they need to be monitored, but I don't mean that in like a communist, authoritarian kind of way. I mean like just seeing if they do anything else that may be harming actual people. So whatever. I mean, if they're doing it just on the internet, whatever. I mean, they'll just be weird. They'll be known as weird. Can't do anything about
Uh,
it. But if they actually act on their problems, then I am going to take offense to that. All right. Hmm. You know what? Speaking of actually not speaking of it, but worshipping something. Let's talk about Elon Musk and how Reddit worships him. You know what? That's yeah, because
uh,
Elon Musk has a Twitter account, and on that Twitter account, he spreads a lot of memes, I'd say. And now that I think about it, I used to think he was actually kind of cool. The fact that he would do all this space stuff and that he's gonna bring us to Mars, but problem is, he's a billionaire who's an asshole. So it just kind of, feels it makes you feel bad for yourself at least, not for Elon Musk.
yeah, well, here's the thing. Okay, there's always a price with a. So when someone has money and you meet them in person, or you see who they are, there's always a price. Okay, for instance, like Elon Musk. Yeah, he might be doing innovation stuff for space and space travel,
Yeah.
but the price is he's just weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
he's just
Oh no,
he's
I don't call him weird. I just think he might be an asshole. Obviously, because he well, to get lithium for his manufacturing endeavors, he's a child labor in Africa. So that's kind of it's kind of
yeah,
yeah, it's kind
but
of
the
dumb.
fact there's always a price or something. Like I mean, I'm not supporting this. I am not saying that I'm an advocate for this. But if you're gonna do space travel or like be something for humanity, like yeah, you might seem like a savior to freaking humanity, but like Jesus, man, that's fucked up. Like if you're gonna help humanity, yeah, at least just do it in ethical ways and not.
Well, the problem is with billionaires though, to get $1 billion, I think you're always gonna have to exploit someone or something, because it's just really hard to get to $1 billion. Wait, like with a million, there are many ways you can make a million within, a very short time, whether it be either the stock market, if you manage to have enough money, I guess you could say, but or winning a game show, which usually it's rigged anyway, so I don't think it matters to that, or
Invested in GameStop.
your grandma, you know, Murdane happens to give you freaking $1 million as a part of her will, so who knows? But with $1 billion, you actually have to make that money, or be given it to you. So with $1 billion, you're pretty much going to have to, like, you can't cut costs that much. All right, you're gonna have to just stay on a certain grind. You're gonna have to treat people like shit sometimes, or treat them well. Usually, the people who are treated well are like your top execs and all that. But
Yeah, but
yeah, what do you think about Bill Gates? Because a lot of people think he's a spawn of Satan. You know, he's evil, and some people think he's good because of all the charity work he does. I think it's in between because you know it definitely makes sense that he could be doing all this charity work just for a good public image, and secretly he's doing something behind the scenes and all that. And
that's every billionaire. I'm not going into conspiracy
I
theory, but
know,
I'm just gonna
yeah,
say this:
pretty much
every
almost
billion,
every billionaire.
yeah, they always have some like I don't know, just I'll put it in a way that everyone can. Yeah, so like every billionaire has, it's just
Oh my god, I'm on this.
they kind of sus behind the scenes and they do some unethical things, but they don't release it because no one will ever find out. So I'm not saying that they are, but it's like most billionaires probably have something that's unethical behind the scenes. You probably just don't know about it
Do you know why Jeffrey Epstein is like so, known nowadays?
because he
Because
was balling with everybody. I'm not saying balling in a good way, like he was just
yeah,
legit everyone's
yeah.
business.
Guess what?
Everyone.
A lot of billionaires and politicians were friends with him, and they colluded with him. So, and since he had that certain island, I'm
Yeah.
not too well versed on Epstein, but I guess apparently it was like some kind of had something to do
Then
with children. So
he had how do I like kind of like a sex ring, I guess,
yeah,
on an
yeah.
island with a bunch of children, and yeah,
Yeah, and it seems
was
like some
really fucked
politicians and
up.
billionaires supported that, and it's just kind of it's just kind of sad. Like they deny that they were ever associated with him, even though you can see pictures of them hanging out with each other. So just you know,
Yeah,
it sucks. Yeah,
but
the world's a screwed up place, but I don't know. Is there any way to save it? I don't know. Is there a simple solution to world peace, or solving all these dumb problems that cause these billionaires to be as prevalent as they are in society? Who knows?
yeah, well, I see. If I when I grow up, I want to have some stability. I don't want to be working paycheck to paycheck, and I understand that like some people just want to like get out of there, but you gotta be reasonable with certain things. You can't just like if you want to become rich, you gotta be reasonable. Don't just say I want to be rich and then do stupid shit like going to Vegas and dropping 10K on a ball. Like that's not sensible.
Yeah. I think it's just like, people are like, world peace, we gotta stop climate change. But these, all these politicians and billionaires and stuff, they work together in ways that you don't know secretly, really. But it kind of creates a problem where, these they can be bribed. They might be bribed. Who knows? But it just kind of creates
So
problems where you can't problems that are so simple and easy to solve, and the U.S. government can easily solve them because they have trillions of dollars at their disposal. They waste like a trillion on a single wall in Mexico. So I mean,
yeah, I
why
want to
not try and
just say
fix homelessness? Which yeah,
yeah, I want to say
that's
that's kind of related to that. Like for the whole cancel culture, right? I know it's not that more prominent, but like, all right. Let me just say this: cancel culture is fucking stupid. All right, because if you guys are gonna go cancel somebody or cancel something, your priorities are canceling, let's say, Kevin Hart for saying the N word 2 years ago, but instead of helping out with homelessness or canceling for instance, Chris Chan, y'all didn't do shit. Like y'all maybe put like one Twitter post and that's it. But no. Our priorities is
I don't
Kevin
think
Hart
about
saying the
no,
N
I don't
word.
think Twitter users really cared about Chris Chan. If anything, they were actually
No,
sort of
but
defending him in a certain way, and I don't mean like him raping his mom, but I mean like the fact that people are misgendering him and all that. So I'd say justifiably, but you can disagree with me on that.
I'm gonna say something that's really controversial, and if you find offense to this, like I said earlier, it's
Actually,
my
it's
opinion.
pronounced controversial. Get it right,
Oh my.
liberal.
I'm gonna say this. I support the LGBTQ and everything. I'm okay with it. You do you,
Oh
man.
boy,
If
I
you're
can
happy
tell where
that
this
way,
is going.
well, no. I just want to say, like, the LGBTQ today is worse than the one that we had in the 1980s and the 1990s because they were fighting for something that made sense. They wanted rights. This one today is fighting for the right to be a doorknob. Now,
Yep.
I'm just saying, if you want to be a doorknob, that's cool. but don't go on Twitter and say actually I'm a doorknob.
How would
Like
being a
if
doorknob work? I wonder if it was like an actual doorknob. Would
I
you
don't
just
know, I don't
stand?
care. But
Would
that's
you
an
like
example. That
constantly
I'm just
crouch
making
near
an
a door? Just constantly
I'm just
crouch near a
making an
door.
example. I'm just saying though,
Yeah,
like
I know, but it's kind of funny to think
I'm
about that.
I'm okay with it. You know, if you want to be trans, if you feel like you're not a girl but you want to become a guy, that's all right. I don't care. You're doing you. If you're happy
Yeah,
that way, you're happy that way. The issue here is you guys are canceling people or getting pissed at them when they make minor issues. Like I know a YouTuber, I forgot his name. He got canceled because he didn't call a transgender guy. He called him a girl on accident because I don't know if I don't know if I'm getting this right, but basically the guy was well, the girl became a guy, right?
yeah,
Or the woman, she became a guy, and then the guy, like the YouTuber, accidentally called him a girl, but she wants to be identified as a guy. So then she went to go tell people on like in her friend group, and it got big in
yeah.
her school or something, and then they fucking canceled him. I don't remember this
Well, is it really
because well,
canceling if he is it? What do you consider canceling someone? If
okay,
a
well,
sex
I'm
to
using
me
the
a
Twitter. I'm
successful
using
cancel.
the
I know, but like to me, a successful canceling of someone is like you know getting them off the internet, just making them disappear. Which I guess you could say, call me Carson. But the thing is, though, he's appearing back. He's coming back. We don't know when, but he's coming back. So
also that whole Call Me Carson issue was fucking stupid.
yeah.
It's fucking like okay,
Although,
there
yeah,
are many.
he did some bad things, but I don't think it's enough to consider it like a really bad thing to expose someone for. It's like, hey man, this is not cool. I hope you apologize for this. That's how people should approach it. But no, they approached it like he was a fucking rapist or something, which he
Well,
isn't.
from my understanding, from what I heard, is that the whole situation went down like this. She was 19 dating a 17-year-old,
Yeah,
which
or
it's
also sexting sort of
this
with a
is
17-year-old.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't okay with it, if I'm right, or she
No, she
was
was actually
just
okay
weirded
with
out.
it for the time, but eventually she wasn't because she realized how bad it was.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, I
then
think the main problem is that Call Me Carson took advantage of a fan. That's the main problem. But people are only exposing him for talking to a 17-year-old with like, sexual no, messages and all that, which whatever. I guess yeah, it is a bit immoral, but
your priority should not be a
yeah,
fucking
it's about the
YouTuber. Like, okay,
priorities.
yeah, your priority should not be a
Because
fucking
based on the
YouTuber.
evidence
You
we
guys should
have,
probably
it
tackle
yeah.
you should probably tackle the fucking sweatshops in China or some dumb like something that is like really fucking up this world. But no. Cancel culture's priority is a guy sexy and a 17-year-old, which I understand how fucked up what I just said, but
I
then
know, but
again,
with the evidence we
priorities.
have though, it seems like, she was okay with it, which I guess maybe that's not okay either. The fact that she was okay, but I mean, if she was okay, let's say that in a different world, she was someone who didn't know better, then sure, maybe it's not good. Maybe the sexting would make sense and how people expose him for it. But she definitely seems like an individual who knows, like, the world around her and how it works. But I don't know. I guess she's just kind of asking for attention, sort of. But this is a while ago. It doesn't matter anymore. Call Me Carson's coming back. Hopefully, everything goes back to normal, which it probably won't. But I mean, most of his friends left him because they just immediately followed the cancel culture hype and all that. So it sucks. I don't know, man. Ugh.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. There's just people are very quick to just cancel someone for you know pedophilia or grooming, which that wasn't really Call Me Carson. If anything, it was just him taking advantage of a fan, which yeah, immoral. It's bad, but not bad enough. It's really just something that he should apologize for. It's not something he should be disappeared off the internet for. Ugh. All right.
yeah, well, we should probably move on before we get canceled ourselves.
I'm not. Well, no, I'm not gonna get canceled, but I, I don't. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I would get canceled for these podcasts if I'm famous enough, but I don't know. I guess if you could describe Twitter and just many other social medias in general, it's kind of like, just a war zone, literally. So Twitter is probably the most prominent one, I'd say, to describe a war zone because, you've got a menagerie of people on there that are just crazy. Like, as
For
in
instance,
you're
I saw a
mentally ill.
Twitter post. It was from a TikTok, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say they because I don't know if they were a guy or a woman. So I'm not gonna. Yeah. What I will say though is she or he or they, whatever, they ended up saying that it was more courage to come out as gay than to enlist in the army and go to Iraq or do a
Bruh.
tour, which is just like that's stupid because
Well,
and I consider okay, hold on.
maybe if you're gay in Iraq, yeah, that makes sense. But
Yeah, but the issue is the worst thing that can happen when you come out is you get shunned or disowned,
disowned by your
which
family,
is
yeah.
fucked up. I know that's still fucked up.
But I
But
imagine
for
though
you to
most
say
people,
that that's worse than going to Iraq and losing a fucking leg or an arm or seeing your
yeah,
brothers
and
die
getting
in front of you,
PTSD
yeah,
forever. So
that's
and
just you're
potentially
pushing
killing
the limit.
yourself. Yeah, that's just dumb. Problem is, she's never seen a war zone. That's the problem. That people just haven't really seen the brutality of war. So if we were to show them footage of war, well, then they'd probably understand then. But no, they only know the world through their very small lens of reality, of which is Twitter. So they don't see gore videos that much because they don't want to look at them, but they should because I feel like it'd give them a better sense of reality.
Yeah.
Speaking of gore, and I'm not trying to talk about gore specifically. I'm just trying to what's kind of funny. So
Well,
I already told you about my friend who's a Jehovah Witness, and all that, but we were just talking and stuff about just friends and all that in our personal life. Not gonna mention who, just obviously because it's more personal. But one of the friends is like, it's a girl, but she was like, she's mostly friends with our group, but she my friend told me that she casually just sends gore to him. I
that's
yeah,
questionable.
when I first heard that, I was like, the hell? She sends gore to you, like, not even as a joke, just well, actually as a joke, but also casually. That's kind of weird. I was like, isn't that kind of a sociopathic thing to do? And he was like, no, it's just kind of a joke. And I'm like, you know, I've seen
Speaking,
my fair share of gore. I've seen it.
I do want to
It's
say this
brutal.
though. Maybe it's because the fact that he's in Jehovah's Witness and not allowed to look at that stuff. Maybe, but I also do want
No,
to say
definitely
this.
not. I mean, she probably is that type of person to look at weird stuff, but not be a total psychopath.
Yeah, I do want to say this. So that religion's fucked. That religion's just
Not even
fucked up.
just that religion. I just say that religion in general
Uh,
can be
So I
stupid.
know about it because I used to be in, but I watched the documentary, which was yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you're a pedophile, since you're not allowed to report to the police if you're part of that religion, like you're not allowed to report to the police or anything or get help from a hospital.
That sucks.
What? Yeah, which is stupid, but either way, they basically protect pedophiles, saying that if you go, like if you go and tell someone and like the police that someone did this to you, your family will shun you and you'll be disowned and you'll get kicked from the congregation apparently,
Yeah,
which has happened.
that's well, yeah. That's why I feel bad about my friend because when he's older, that's if I'm even still friends with him. I don't know what I would. I mean, let's say I'm still friends with him in the future. I don't know, like, would I support him if he were to get disowned? It'd be kind of hard for both of us, but like, dude,
Like you
imagine
would
if
help
I.
them because
I
leaving
know, but
something like that, like
yeah, but Jesus,
if
man,
you
what
you
if
have
he
to
gets
move on to
disowned?
it. You need to fucking move on. Like if you're there all your life, that's just where are you going? Because I mean, I'm not saying there isn't a God, but I'm just saying if there is one, I would like to see proof, like factual proof in front of my eyes. Like if he could show himself in front of me, then sure, I will believe him and I will suck his cock, I guess. I'm not saying that I'm
I mean,
gay, but I'm just
the
saying
thing
though.
is though, if you were in the times of the 1400s when Joan of Arc was still alive, would you believe her? Would you believe that she heard the voices of God? Do you even know about Joan of Arc?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fucking believe that because they probably have a fucking sword up to my neck saying, "Hey, listen, man, if you don't believe this, you're gonna get your neck sliced." But like
Actually, no. Most
nowadays,
people. I don't think most people were like. Well, that didn't happen to most people, but I mean, like, I don't know. That back in those times, pretty much everyone was a believer of God. If you were in a European country, at least, but yeah, pretty much everyone was a believer in God. So there wasn't much reason to not believe her because you didn't have science back then was very primitive. So you know You couldn't really just believe science and just
Yeah,
question it.
but I do want to say this. So I'm gonna just give an example. Not saying that it relates to me, but there is a certain family who, let's say, the parents are divorced, and then the dad decides to join that religion, and he has two kids with a new wife. Mind you, those two kids have not attended any form of school.
Yeah.
Do not know. Yeah, I'm totally not referring to myself and my family. Totally not doing that. But there's a 10-year-old daughter who has never attended school, has only done that leapfrog school for like 1 year, and then that's it. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, the issue is it's like you join that religion, either A, you don't get schooled, and you get schooled personally by family who fucking. It's like North Korea. It's like North Korea where they, force stuff into your head saying this is bad, and you
Yeah.
have to grow up thinking that's how the world is around you. But you can't do that in the USA because it works in North Korea because they're enclosed from the world. They're enclosed, but you can't do that here because the only enclosure you get is in that church or kingdom hall, whatever you call it.
They have a zoo there in Pyongyang, and it's kind of depressing. Like, there's a, I don't know if the monkey or gorilla. I don't know if it's gorilla or ape, but there's the only gorilla there. I'm pretty sure, or monkey, I guess. But you know what? You know what's so sad? He's talented, but not in like being very smart, but just in knowing how to smoke a cigarette, like all like a badass action character. So he smokes a lot of cigarettes, like a an addict. Like he's like going. I think he actually smokes like a couple packs a day. I'm pretty sure that's how addicted he is, and it's just a monkey too. So I'd imagine that if a monkey has to smoke to remain happy, then holy shit, dude! I wonder the conditions of that zoo. Which I mean, it's in North Korea, so I can't even. I probably could imagine it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get the point of just oppressing the people in your country. I mean, they're gonna probably turn on you at some point, and or someone else from the outside is gonna turn on you. But I mean, okay, look, if China is to become democratic, I think that the U.S. would just go straight for North Korea. They would stand no chance. They would just go straight for it.
But then there's Russia. I'm not gonna talk about that
Well, yeah,
because fucking the Secret Service is gonna raid our houses and bust our door down, take our shit.
no, I'm
So I
not.
don't
I'm
think.
not against or for Russia. I'm just saying, yeah, Russia's obviously an enemy of the U.S. sort of, but
Whoa,
what?
nah, maybe. I mean, uh, yeah, reasonable enough. But I mean, they're kind of chill right
I
now.
mean, Putin is just Putin is just kind of a
It's Putin. He rides sharks for a living.
he doesn't really like the U.S. Oh man, you remember the days of the Soviet Union, bro? Maybe you know what? Maybe back in those times, maybe people were more hopeless back then compared to nowadays, where we think that the world's gonna be end because of incompetence. Now, back
Yeah,
then they thought the world was
immediately.
gonna end because someone would make a single mistake, which I guess you could say it's incompetence for making a mistake that would blow up the world, but nowadays, I don't know, man. It's just, people are just ignoring the real issue. So I wonder if people were more hopeless back then compared to us now. Seems like most people aren't that hopeless today, but I don't know. I feel sort of hopeless because I feel like the only way that we're going to ever accomplish anything worthwhile is if we actually get smart people into power and people who actually treat their citizens well and know priorities. But of course, the wrong people are always elected into power. That's the problem. Donald Trump, of course, I'm not going to try and argue that he was good or bad. He was just arguably bad. I'm not going to try and argue that he was good. He was just bad. There's no, yeah. But it's just like, Donald Trump is a billionaire and he somehow got elected into the frickin' United States of America president office when
Because
he
we have
was,
idiots as we have
yeah,
idiots.
yeah, and we
we have
have people who would vote for him. But of course, if he manages to run again in 2024 and fails, I mean, there's just going to be more, riots and all
I
that
don't,
to
I don't
defend
think
Trump
he's gonna.
supporters.
I don't think he will try to.
No, he's going to try it. I think he's going to do it.
Well, yeah, but like, come on. After that fucking insurrection and the fact that they tried to impeach him, the second that was like, I'm pretty sure he planned it, but it was perfect fucking timing because it was literally the same month that he was gonna leave office. And
Well, yeah, they
I mean,
probably did. They probably
yeah,
did
he
plan that
did.
originally. Have you seen the
Yeah, he
documentaries
did.
on January 6th? I think they're good by the New York Times.
Well, I've seen some clips of them, but the thing is just like some people can argue, yeah, he actually did some stuff. Yeah, you can give me evidence of like that one specific law, but overall, that man had a shit fucking COVID response time. He had a
Yep.
like he fucked up our entire quarantine. He got rid of the whole COVID response team, which was fucking retarded because
Well, he got rid of
the
the
six
pandemic response team before the pandemic
pandemic
happened,
response.
which
Yes,
sucked. So it was just really bad timing because, we had a bad man in office. But I'd
and
say, I mean, I
like
blame China, though. They could have probably contained the virus, but they didn't shut down quick enough. But
I
at the
mean,
same
yeah,
time, the
but there's a
U.S. could
lot of
have
people living in
prevented.
that country, so
Well, yeah, but but for the U.S. though, I think based on the documentary I saw, I think there was about like they said that there was like a couple 100,000 Chinese or U.S. citizens who came from China after like work or whatever or just doing something. But yeah, they could have probably screened all those people, but they didn't because they didn't feel like they had a need to, which now results in this. It really annoys me because
speaking
this.
about that, yeah, I think we might go into another lockdown because of this whole Delta variant.
Well, yeah, of course, we probably are. I mean, that's if people, if it gets bad enough, which it kind of is. I mean, yeah, in Pennsylvania, it is hitting, but it's not hitting hard enough for it to be a complete threat yet. But there are a lot more cases now currently in Pennsylvania. But, you know, um, when I get into school, though, I don't know how they're going to approach this because they should know that the Delta and Lambda variant are going around. So how are they going to, are they going to
Yeah,
make us
I
wear
don't.
masks or are they
I
just going
would,
to let people do their own thing?
and I'm pretty sure the Delta variant still does something to you, even if you're
Vaccinated.
even
Well,
if you're
compared
vaccinated.
to the
Yeah.
Lambda variant, it's a lot less, but the Lambda variant is more resistant to vaccines, apparently. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy nuts. I already talked about this in the previous episode, but there's a lot of conspiracy nuts who just do not believe in the medical experts at the top, which, I mean, whatever. I mean, maybe they're colluding behind the scenes to, they're bad people, I guess, but I don't know, man. I just feel like, since they have more experience than I do, I'd probably listen to them more. It's not like, you know, they have way more experience with medical stuff, especially Fauci, because,
Also
you
want
know,
to just, I also want to say this real quick. This like, yeah, it's the fact that we live in the USA. There's a lot of people who's like, it's my right. I'm not gonna wear a mask. It's all of that. They all say that until
the
they
thing
get
is
the
though,
fucking.
then they don't realize that they're on a private property, which can do whatever they want with people and how they wear stuff. So, I mean, yeah, you can't. I mean, look. So yeah, with private properties though, it's not like they're follow. I mean, they're following what the government like is recommending. It's obviously so that they can have customers and all that, and they want to continue business, but with restrictions, obviously. So people not wearing masks, well, of course, it just I don't know why you're expecting that you could go onto private property without a mask, where the government's recommending to businesses to wear a mask. So that was really funny. Yeah, but I don't know. Until we get another vaccine for all these really bad variants that are causing problems, then I don't know. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, Bear. You didn't get your second shot yet, right?
No, I am first
Yeah.
dose.
Well, I already got fully vaccinated, but the fact that these Delta and Lambda variants cannot fully protect against vaccinated people is kind of worrying to me because you know, man, I went through the trouble for one day to, experience all the symptoms of the vaccine reacting to my body, but and then, then it's not worth it because the freaking virus comes back even stronger. And it's like, well, this is why humans should kill themselves now. We should nuke ourselves because quite frankly, we cannot do shit.
I mean, the least you can do is just be considerate because, like, legit, people just want to go back to normal. Like, we just want to go back to the way it was.
Which it's
Like,
not going to happen for a long time, but
no, I know it
unfortunately,
won't. But the thing is, it's just like I fucked up school this year, and that's
yep.
because it was online. And people are like, oh, well, because it's online, you can just cheat. Yeah, that's not the point of school. I would actually like to learn things. I know you can call me a nerd and shit, but like, come on.
I've never had
If I'm
that
gonna
problem, although I had it in the beginning of the year. I had a problem with online school.
attend school, I would like to learn stuff properly, not just cheat because like my sister said, a lot of kids are gonna come out of this fucking quarantine looking dumb as fuck when they don't know. Like they're gonna go back to school and it's gonna be like, well, fuck, I can't cheat now, which is exactly why I want to go back to school because it's
Well,
like, what
I
the
mean, I
fuck?
wouldn't rely on the education system there because the U.S. education system is just quite frankly a mess and it's outdated. So, see, that's kind of the problem. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, healthcare currently is kind of a priority because of COVID and all. But I think the education system should probably be the next priority in terms of, America. Like, I mean, like you got to educate people. You got to educate kids, You're not going to have smart people without properly educating them. So why the hell are you so focused on everything else but not education? It's so dumb. It's the problem is that, it they can save a lot of money by not doing much with education. But, you see countries like Finland, Norway and Sweden and they're actually doing good shit with their education system. People are actually doing good. They're going to colleges without fees and all that. And, they're doing good in life and they get paid more. So it's just so annoying that, you know, in America, education is just seen as something that they don't have to waste that much time on because they can just simply give you a standardized test and, just it's
And
simple
then just
money.
pass it off as saying, hey, they learned something. They can go to
It's
college.
not
It's like,
learning something. You're just throwing whatever information you remembered from your current courses, really. I mean, in college it's different, obviously, because yeah, that actually matters and that's actually way more important. And there's
see,
actually
school can be
proof
related to
information.
having school can be related to having a fever. Okay, it's like you actually no better yet a
Not
food
f-
coma. All right,
a
you
flu.
get you, not a food coma. Basically, you take in a bunch of information so much to the point where you get tired just for you to spit it back out. Which is basically just what standardized testing is. It's just you learn all this information just for you to spit it back out on a test.
And you want to know something frustrating? So every time I've gotten frustrated with my work and school and my brothers and siblings and my parents try to help with it, they actually look at it themselves and they just scoff because it's like they're just so, they think it's actually ridiculous that how unnecessarily complicated and annoying it is for this to exist.
It's
I
the
mean,
fact of the matter is like I met a guy and he was like, well, and I'm gonna go on to say what I was gonna say first and let you know what he said to me. And I was like, well, why would I need to know the Pythagorean theorem? Like, how is that gonna help me if I need to know how to do my taxes if I'm being robbed? Because I mean, a robber's not gonna ask me what the Pythagorean theorem is unless he's in
hey
college and needs
man,
help.
I mean, yeah, I'd focus more on taxes because problem is you can get arrested for tax evasion or, other tax related crimes if you don't properly do your taxes right. So, if you don't pay the right amount, you go to jail or, of course, if you don't really know how to exactly pay the taxes, it's annoying.
He told me, well, it's the fact of the matter is like we need to pass it on. We need more people to because if we don't tell people, then no one's gonna remember. No one's gonna tell about it. No one's gonna talk about it anymore. It's just gonna be gone. And it's like, well, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
I get that. You have someone else do that for you, but I think you should be teaching kids how to fucking pay their taxes, how to get a proper degree, how to actually make it to the system. And
Yeah,
yeah,
the current system we have now, it was good in the 1800s and maybe early 1900s and a little bit beyond that, but it was good for its time. But now it isn't. We are in a completely different time and it's outdated. It's a mess. There's no point for it. I mean, just continuing this garbage system of education where kids are actually being dumber, if anything, I'd argue. And, they begin to do things that are just, it seems like the US just wants to intentionally create unintentional criminals. I don't know, man. You know, like not knowing how to pay your taxes, even though you're trying to pay them, but you just can't figure out how to because you were never taught. Or, just, you didn't read up on a certain law and you get a you know, a fraction, not a fraction, god damn it. I forget the name of it for when you, whatever. But yeah, pretty much, I feels like, there's so many things that we can fix with America, but It's just people in
choosing not to do
government.
it because they know that if
Yeah,
they don't change it,
it costs money to do stuff, and they don't quite frankly want to waste money. They want to waste money on things that they deem more important, which is, I guess, just you know, you know, just unimportant stuff that doesn't really matter. So I mean, yeah, like Reagan increased homelessness, and now we have a bunch of homeless people. And I'm not saying that some of them obviously they kind of they made themselves homeless by intention because they just they're not good at life and they are drug addicts and all that. But some of them just society failed them, the system failed them, and everything. I'm not trying to sound all jokery, like it's just kind of how it is. But Reagan's policies and all that introduced just a wave of chaos, and nowadays we get to feel it a little bit. But yeah, we could easily solve homelessness. I mean, I'm pretty sure that some calculations estimate that it only costs like 38 billion to fix homelessness, which it's probably more than that. But even then, I'd still imagine that's not even $1 trillion at least. That's only 8 billions. So the government can easily fund that. If they can fund putting up a wall in Mexico to keep, you know, illegal immigrants out, why not just, put that towards homeless people or put that towards education? Seems kind of simple, but
no,
people don't like change.
it's I mean, they say people have the right to protest and riot, and they'll make changes based off of it. But it's like, do you guys actually listen? Do you really listen? Because yeah, you make one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you make one public statement about it, but then what are you gonna actually do about it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you really gonna do about it? Like, come on, we when people protest, they protest for a reason. They're trying to fucking make it. They wanna make it so it's possible for everyone. Because I also want to go on to say, the system also it fails black people because
Oh.
like, and look at like in minorities, look at the cops. Like, it's the exact reason why we had that whole protest last year, because they were being ignorant about the whole police system, and it pisses me
Well,
off because they.
it brings a wave of chaos where people think all police are bad or just
Well,
all
no, not
police
all
work
of them
for
are
a
bad,
tyrannical
but
system.
then you have the situation with George Floyd. Is like I said, the system fails minorities because you are intentionally ignoring them when they need help, when they need assistance. And I mean, yeah, you have what you call it, like when the government gives you money, like welfare, and this where they
Stimulus check.
yeah yeah stuff like that. But that's not enough forever. They need help, and it's like, for instance, I saw a video and it was like you can tell it was intentionally like an act of just a hate crime, where basically it was a representation of how you put a minority to get a job, like you put them on a track of life, and supposedly because of the system they're more likely to do illegal activities, and then you have a white guy who
Yeah.
just makes it straight, and it's like it just goes to show.
But I mean, there's obviously that funny 4chan, funny joke, funny racist
Yeah,
joke about you know black people making up 13% of the population but committing 50% of the crimes and all that. Which, yeah, it is true, but unfortunately, it's just saying it
they
like
have a
that, like
reason.
a
They
smart
they, they
ass, is
have
not. It's racist. Okay, it's just kind of annoying.
there's a reason why they're doing that. They if they have to snatch a purse to make.
They live in shitty places, and their government doesn't shit about them. So
Yeah, I know
want their best
I know I'm
people.
Dominican and I can't really relate to this, but whatever. But there was a certain song I was doing. It was made by Tupac, and there's a certain line. I don't know how it goes, but he said it was along the lines of saying that if I need to snatch a purse for money or food, then I will do it, because if I like, there are priorities in life, and if your biggest priority is the fact that you need to get food and you can't even get food because of how the system has failed you, you can't make money.
Yeah,
It's reasonable, but the cops ignore that, and the system ignores that, and they don't help them. The only thing to help them is just give them stimulus checks
yeah.
and welfare.
Yeah, I look, I'm kind of, yeah, I have a centrist view on police because, yeah, police are needed. We need police. If you don't have police, then you're going to have chaos. And I don't know why these anarchists want chaos because, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's a utopia, anarchist utopia. No, it's not going to be a utopia. You're going to die within like 5 seconds, my guy. you think that you're gonna survive and live in an anarchist utopia, but that we created society for a reason because there's order. People in the Mesopotamia, you know, people in Africa, people in the Indus River Valley civilization, they literally created civilization so that they could have order and, live in a system that, works for everyone, but also has, that has benefits and all that. So, I mean, thing is,
Think
though,
because
obviously,
I
some societies were bad, like the Aztecs. I mean, Jesus Christ. uh,
sacrificed into a sun god.
yeah, so that's pretty much kind of what an anarchist system would be. It would just be kind of like an Aztec system, but just think it's just people that think that would actually work for America, but it wouldn't. I don't know if it would turn out like the Purge or it would be better, or maybe it's going to be way worse than the Purge. Like people are going to do way worse things, but yeah, I don't really get the point of, and yeah, I don't really get the just how people think that anarchy is going to help America. No, like if anything, anarchy is mentioned whenever like just tr- Trump supporters want to make fun of Biden supporters, but yeah, I just do not get it. Most police are not bad people. They serve to protect their community, which is pretty good considering you know things happen. And the fact that
We need
they are risking their lives to do very, just to make sure that you're safe, I don't know why you're not giving them respect. It's just kind of dumb.
it's also the fact that like there's obviously intentions of racism from a cop. Like if a cop intentionally, which is like this happens a lot of the time, if a cop intentionally pulls you over because of your skin color, that's an intentional and active racism. Because if you're driving and you haven't broken any of the laws, but a cop pulls you over, like it's if you're and this is the reason why minorities make the joke. If a cop pulls you over, it's not the matter of the fact if did I go over the speed limit. It's the matter of the fact am I going to even make it home? Because legit, it's come to the point of the fact where minorities are scared to get pulled over by cops because
Well, yeah,
of
because
what
they think
happened in
that stuff's
2020.
gonna happen. Yeah, but then they run away, and I'm not trying to say that they're bad for running away, but like they cause problems with police obviously because they're not following orders or whatever. They just want to run because they don't trust them, so they run. They get shot to death because police are racist and all that. But that's yeah. It's just everything sucks about everything in America. It always seems to be about America, probably because we're the major superpower. We pretty much involve ourselves in everything that is the world. So, we're kind of the main laughing stock for the world when there's, you know, so we create problems for each other. So we continue to be the laughing stock of the world because we have problems that we could easily solve because other countries can do it, but we just cannot do it for some reason, either because of political divide or whatever else. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Political divide. So political divides just creating major problems for our country, obviously, but it's just like, people think that one side of a spectrum of the political spectrum will think that what they're doing is absolutely right and will benefit everyone in society, but another side, I guess you could say like anarchist or whatever, they think that an anarchy system will benefit everyone because, you'll be free, you won't have to worry about police, but just without civilization, you're not going to live. I mean, if you want to become a caveman again, I don't know why those anarchists just why won't they just admit they want to go back to caveman times,
I,
Like,
I personally,
speaking
okay,
being
I'm just
like
gonna make
ooga
my
ooga.
this is gonna be my last statement because I've already talked enough about everything today. But basically, it's the you can have your political view. That's fair. That's the exact reason why we have amendments that allow us to have certain political ideas.
Yeah.
Now, when you push it to the fucking extreme, and then go on to push it to other people and do you know either hurt someone mentally, physically, that's when you take it too far because it's like, for instance, you can be conservative, and that's cool. You're chill about it. You're conservative. That's your idea. That's your
Yeah, as
ideal.
long as you're not
That's
like going all crazy
But
about
then
it.
there are some people who are conservative, but then they're fucking beating people or targeting them, saying, you support Joe Biden. Or not Joe Biden, whatever. Like, you support, like, you voted for this guy. I don't like
Yeah.
you. We're not going to be
Yeah.
friends anymore. It's like it's a guy's opinion. Like I said earlier, in the rest of the podcast, I said an opinion is an opinion. Uh, an opinion is meant to be left at that, and that's final. If someone wants to have an opinion, that's cool, as long as it's not hurting somebody. Now, that you leave it at that. But if it's hurting somebody, that's when you need to step in because it's just that's really fucked. Anyways, that's all I have to say about everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I guess you could say politics in America are kind of
Fucked.
like that. Could you even hear that at all?
No, hey, your mic cut out.
Oh, my mic cut out. That's pretty surprising because I'm trying to use a fart gun. Hold on. Let me try and do it from a distance. Well, then, if it can't, I guess if it's just not picking it up, that's pretty interesting. I guess it only picks up voices. The voices are getting louder. Yeah. Well, I guess that's a pretty good place to stop. That was kind of fun. I don't know, maybe in the future with guest interviews, or not guest interviews, but guest podcasts, I could, you know, actually interview them. But this is more of a friend kind of podcast, I guess, since Bear's already one of my good friends on the internet. So, I mean, not really much of an interview. So, yeah. So that was a good episode, everyone. Or not everyone, but just the two of us, I guess. But yeah, if you're watching this entire thing, thank you for making it to the end. I do not know why anyone has that dedication, but there you go. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully you have a good day, and hopefully you enjoyed our political talk, even though we full well know that we're only teenagers, and what we say probably doesn't matter in the long run. So, yeah.
Because we probably look stupid to the world right now.
All right. Well, do you have any parting words, Bear?
I do have one parting.
What the dog do?
What is the dog doing? That is a great philosophical question. Well,
To
all I can say is that he's probably doing